South China Morning Post, 16th of August 2022. China, which gave Pakistan nuclear technology, says that if India and Pakistan went to war with nuclear weapons, almost 2 billion people would die. $5 billion in one between the US and Russia. China has given Pakistan nuclear weapons, ships, planes, and submarines as part of its all-out war against the Indian subcontinent. It overthrew the Nepalese government, using communist insurgents, using debt-trap diplomacy against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, crushing democracy in Burma, and playing the divide-and-rule game against the Indians. As tensions rise between the US, Russia, and China, old fears of nuclear war are brought back to life. Some researchers are warning that even a small-scale exchange between countries like India and Pakistan could have disastrous effects on the world's food supply and cause many people to die worldwide. China is bringing up this issue as a threat to the rest of the world, quickly becoming a significant nuclear power. A new international study by scientists at Rutgers University says that a nuclear war with less than 3% of the world's nuclear weapons could kill one-third of the world's population within 2 years. The research, which came out Monday in Nature Food, says that a bigger nuclear war between Russia and the US could simultaneously kill 3/4 of the world's population. The results come 30 years after the Cold War ended, when the threat of a nuclear holocaust may be higher than ever. Researchers think that if even a tiny portion of the world's nuclear weapons were to go off, it would start massive firestorms that would quickly send soot into the air that would block the sun and cause a sudden drop in temperature. Then, they used math to figure out how these changes would affect the growth of different crops and how fish would react to changes in the ocean. So, they predicted tens of millions of people would die right away in the war zone, and then hundreds of millions of people would die worldwide from starvation. Most of the possible scenarios that the researchers thought about involved a nuclear war between India and Pakistan, but the real threat is China, which is using Pakistan as a proxy army. 4 wars have been fought between the two countries, and there are still fights along the border. The British did the same with their divide-and-rule policies. Roebuck said they think the Indian subcontinent is the most likely place where this kind of war could start. If India, Pakistan, or China use the 250-100 kiloton nuclear weapons they are thought to have, they would kill about 127 million people in South Asia and 200 million people in China through explosions, fires, and radiation, according to the study. According to the research, more than 5 billion people would die worldwide if the US and Russia went to war. Together, they are thought to have more than 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. But any of the 9 nuclear-armed countries, which include China, North Korea, France, Israel, and Britain, has enough firepower at their disposal to cause a lot of suffering and death around the world, with soot rising into the sky and setting off a chain reaction of cooling and famine. Roebuck said that even though it's impossible to test the theory directly, things in the real world are like it. Massive wildfires in Australia in 2019 and 2020 and in British Columbia in 2017 sent smoke into the stratosphere, which was confirmed by satellite observations. He said that the sun heated the smoke particles, which made them rise 5 to 15 miles, 8 to 24 kilometers, higher into the air. He said that the fact that the researchers' models could predict the effects of these fires gave them more confidence that the models could also indicate the impact of a nuclear explosion. Researchers at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory also looked at the India-Pakistan scenario in their 2020 paper and came to the same conclusion: there were unknowns. The team thought exchanging 115 kiloton nuclear weapons would cool the climate if fires broke out in densely populated urban areas. However, they thought that fires in suburban areas would have little to no effect on the environment. Geist said that the Rutgers-led study assumes that the countries would go after each other's cities, where there are the most fossil fuels and where the effects on the climate would be the worst. But both Pakistan and China have said that if they used nuclear weapons against India, they would do so as part of a regular war. China is the most dangerous thing we face right now. China's all-out war against the rest of the world makes things unstable. China, North Korea, and Pakistan are the new Axis powers. The world is in danger until China turns into a friendly country.